All right. Well, hello, everybody. Gonna go live again today. Working on the Deathwing Knights now. Slowly chipping away at it. All right. It's always a struggle to get this chat thing going too correctly. It's always a struggle to get this chat thing going too correctly. All right, connecting to stream. All right. Connecting to stream. All right. So, let's see what we can get done tonight. So, let's see what we can get done tonight. All right, so I've gotten the companions done. I've gotten the Terminator Chaplain done. Just for fun, I went and got some of the Stern Guard veterans and Titus squared away. I'm gonna get them ready to start going. All right. Let's see. It's quite a bit of parts and pieces to these guys. So we'll see how that all goes. More than likely gonna end up breaking that down into the individual frames. And all right. Hopefully you guys have been good, getting stuff done. All that crazy snow we had already melted away. And yeah. I've decided, because of that little short I did, half the people said do maces, the other half said swords. I was looking, honestly, I think the swords are going to be better because you can synergize them with the chaplain that comes with. And that chaplain gives them +1 to wound. So pretty much for everything, it makes them better. But it's also, you gotta pay for a chaplain, which I don't really want to pay for a chaplain. But yeah. All right. I'm gonna go with all the knight heads instead of the rogue heads for these guys. I just think that looks way cooler. So let's rock and roll. All right, part 1. Need to figure out where my frames are lined up, because there you go. It's never really clear. Breaking out the super cutter. I give myself a little more room today. But yeah, last time I got the basing stuff done, finished building them up, got Cypher built, which I have discovered Cypher lives in the Chaos Codex. So I don't know what that tells you, but it tells me the Dark Angels are. Alright, 1, 2. They made their butts individual pieces, guys. I don't know why they would do that, but they did. Crotch and butt. Again, somebody was told we need to make this kit 38,000 pieces. Not like it matters for detail. It's going to be hidden behind robes. Alright, 8, 9, 5, and 6. Well, hello. How's it going? 8, 9, 5, and 6. That's 5 and 6. But yeah, I've been enjoying putting them together. I've been kind of bouncing between projects. Sometimes it's a good thing. I went and primed those guys up. Got these guys getting built. Honestly, the snow weather, these snow days, has let me get a lot done. I mean, as far as the hobby goes. Knife time. But also, kind of did this off of the universe as well. Got some Hellblasters together and based. See how those go. Apparently, Dark Angels like their plasma. But honestly, I really don't have a direction for a list right now. I just kind of rule cooling it for whatever that's worth. Cold. My family liked going outside in all of it, and I bundled up in a blanket and watched them. May or may not have looked like a homeless man, but I was warm. Apparently, fake fur blankets really help. Like this piece, they made the crown, the hood, all this all in one, but they made the butt a separate part. I don't get it. Hey, thanks for the likes, guys and gals. It really helps. I would agree. Warm is all that matters. Until like the police come and start rounding up homeless people, and then I have to explain to them that I'm not actually homeless. So on the other streams I did, it was single Terminator chaplain, and then 2 3-man groups. Those ran between 45 minutes and an hour. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put together all 5 of these Terminators in one sitting. Just because of time. But we'll give it a shot. As always, hopefully you guys are being productive and working on stuff too, and just kind of building with me. And if you're not building and being productive, you should be. I don't know. Apparently, the Eldar Codex leaked online. I mentioned last time my buddy is a huge Eldar fan, and he's been talking about it all day, sending screenshots of stuff. Apparently, the fire prism looks pretty good, although they nerfed the link fire. Banshees and Scorpions look really good, which makes sense because they're the new kits coming out, or that are out. He mentioned something with a heavy platform, heavy weapons platform for their regular Guardians being pretty good and can be attached now, which should have always been the case. So, pretty excited for him. He's happy. All right, let's see, can that go in first? And then the butt? No, it's better to put the butt in first. Which is a weird thing to say. This is so unnecessary. That could very much be its own. Hey, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm glad the LR peeps are getting some love. I did have to make a joke about as soon as that codex comes out, it's going to be FAQ'd to the point of don't buy it. So I hate to be that guy. But if you do plan on picking up any codex, do it as a collector. Do it as somebody for the lore. If you're doing it for the rules, I hate to tell you, lately Games Workshop has been not the best with that. But, you know, it'll be alright. Digital rules should really take a precedent. They pretty much have it now. They're just charging for the codex, which is cool. It's fine. I just wish if they were to do it, they made the codex have some sort of value to it. Like a whole bunch of art, a whole bunch of lore, stories, stuff like that. You know, you could kind of justify what's going on. But as it stands right now, I don't know, it just kind of feels bad when you spend that kind of money on a book and the same day it comes out, they're already FAQing and errata-ing and it's not a good look. Because I rather put my money into the plastic addiction side of it. Alright, body and legs. Body and legs, first set. But I'm gonna try to roll through this one. Alright, 10 and 11. Part 10. Come on now, where's 11 at? Alright, so I was kind of looking at these sprues. This one's calling for the sword arm to go down into the ground. But if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 sword arms not stuck into the ground. I know it's kind of hard to see the way I showed you guys that. But I'm wondering if there's an arm that I can use that's not stuck into the ground. I'm not a big fan of that. Where is 21? 21. 15. Where are you? 21. 21. Yep. But yeah, again, like I was saying, I don't really have a list in mind. I'm just kind of building, having fun with it. I got some Hell Blasters that I got set up for it. Got a lieutenant set up for it. The chaplain. Still kind of debating on the librarian and whatnot. Part of me wants to go like just Deathwing and like Inner Circle, like not try, like, you know, not get too far off from this Christmas box. Okay, little circle and little circle. Is that on this side? No. Okay. But like I said, I don't really want to drop a ton of money into it, which I know is kind of a joke because it's Warhammer. Yeah, I feel like you should go the other way. I feel like you should go the other way. I'm gonna put this on this side. That lines up better. Yeah, that lines up better. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. I'm gonna hold off on his weapon arm until I know exactly what to do as far as the that sword arm. I'll probably end up having to wait to the last guy to know. And then this one kind of just goes wherever you want it, looks like, again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the shield on first, so 22. And see what it looks like. It's kind of cool. The more and more I look at these guys, the more I get excited about painting them. I think it's going to be pretty cool how that comes together. Yeah, if you guys are just now joining us, say hey, how's it going? Working on the Deathwing Knights. from the Inner Circle Task Force box from Christmas. Just have those to do, and the Primarch the Lion left. So a little more time to go in these. But yeah. Hopefully you guys are working on some stuff too and getting your hobby minutes in and having a good time with it. This looks like it's definitely be more of like a lean back kind of position on that arm. Yeah. I'm gonna wait to go any further on that guy because I want to see if there's an arm that lets me pose it differently than stuck into the ground. I don't really like that pose, but I will cut out the shoulders and head for him. And let's see, shoulders look like 24 and 25, 24, 25. And 25 is on that side, 24 is on this side, and then the head showing 103. Where's 103? Where's any head? Guessing not on here. There we go. 103. Okay. Gonna pause there. I keep on keeping on. Next one. Oh, here it is. Okay. Looks like there's different shoulders. Wait a second. 1 and 4, 1 and 3. Are all those pieces labeled 1? No. Well, that's weird. Let me... Strange. All right, I'm gonna keep on going. All right, 31, 32, and 33. 31, 32, and 33. Three. Legs 34, 35, 36, 37. 34. 35. 36. 47. Okay. I'm gonna move it to knife time. Boom, piece done. I actually like the way these are going together. Just wish I had a clear understanding of that other sword arm. So like I said, I really don't want to build them, stick it into the ground. Trimming Space Marine crotch. Yep. It's still weird that they made that its own part. It could very much be molded in with everything else. Alright, let's see how these guys go together. That's pretty good. Great relaxing stream. Hey, thanks. Don't mind if I live vicariously through you. No, hey man, go right ahead. There's so many different ways to enjoy this stuff. Hey, go right ahead, man. I've just been fortunate the last couple of days. We've had some snow weather, and I live down in the south, so nobody has a clue how to exist in snow, myself included. So they shut down everything. And it's given me the opportunity to do all this work. So I'm thankful for that, grateful for that. And I do recommend, though, if you're hanging out with me, living through me, as you say, work on some models too. Grab some stuff. I'd love to know what you're doing. And part of this hobby that makes it really cool and fun and great is we get to do it with each other, as well as hanging out by ourselves. And sometimes, you just need to talk to somebody while you're doing work. You know? That's the body. I think I mentioned it on a past stream. I used to stream buddy builds, like to help me get motivated. I would bug a friend of mine, and we'd get together, and I'd just throw the camera on, and we'd build and just talk. Somebody messaged me the other day. They asked why I had this mark here. A number my glue. So I buy them as I go. And I number them, try to use this one up before I get to the next one. So I don't, waste glue kind of deal. Very true. Still have some house chores to take care of, but I'm glad I came across your stream. I keep it open while doing my thing. That's awesome. Yep. Chores. Today was a chore day earlier. I like OCD cleaned the bathrooms and tubs and stuff. Broke out the barkeeper's friend and scrubbed everything down. Usually during the week, I'm just crazy busy. So that kind of stuff gets put off a little bit. Don't judge me. Do I find it ever clogging up? No. So I used to, but if you notice, when I close it, I got a little gap there. If you go too far, it'll be bad. So basically what you do it all the way, back it up a little bit for the first time, and then get it a little tight. And that kind of saves you there. Yeah, no, I agree. Doing the hobby stuff after the chores, it's like mentally good. Get the chores out of the way, you can feel that sense of accomplishment with that. And then, for me at least, a cleaner, organized environment helps me focus creatively. But, yeah. I say that, but if you were to see the entirety of my hobby desk, it's pretty rough. Most all my stuff is in a 5x10 area. So, it gets a little messier than I'd like. But it's alright. Body and legs done. But the super glue gel from Gorilla, it is by far my favorite. It goes where you want it to go. Sometimes that thin stuff, it'll pool and it'll kind of like spread and then it'll dry and it'll leave like a varnish look. Yeah. And I picked up models secondhand and they were just ruined by that. Same here, brother. I feel that my desk is a mess with all my Warhammer stuff. Oh yeah. So what I got in this region here, I got like paints, and over on this side, my hobby handles that I use. Got paint on this side with brushes. There's a lamp over there, another lamp over there, and then there's like an arch lamp here. And then off to my, there's one of those like 8 cube things. And that 8 cube thing holds all my tools and models I'm working on and that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't really like the plastic cements in general. For one, the smell kills me. Like, I just can't handle the smell. And as far as magnets go, yeah, the gel glue works really, really well. But magnets over time will always give you problems because just the nature of them like snapping together, it has a little shock to it. And that shock tends to mess up super glue joints because they can be a little bit more brittle. So like with these guys, I drill a hole, fill it full of glue, press it in. Now it's surrounded all the sides, and it does a pretty good job. Most people, they'll put magnets in like the bottom of bases, and the super glue is only on one side, so you don't really get that 360-degree coverage. Um, One of the things that I like to do is this washer technique, but alternatively, you could put a magnet in like this with super glue. That way it's covered on all sides, and the super glue is kind of a thermoplastic, and it's got a little squish to it, so it doesn't, shock as easy. But the old school technique for using magnets in bases was green stuff, which is basically just an epoxy clay. A little green stuff ball, press it in, press the magnet in, and that works really good too. All right, let's see, 55 and 56. 55 and 56. Don't see 55 and 56 on here. All right, what about you? 55, 56, 55. Ain't no worries, brother. Like I said, part of the reason why I stream my build is to have people to talk to. That's the tip. I was always worried about green stuff because you kind of need to self-mold it, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah, you just get a little ball and just stick it in and then press the magnet in. It's not bad. But you can kind of do the same stuff with any sort of epoxy based stuff. Green stuff's just easy because it's a little clay. But don't buy actual green stuff. Buy like kneaded putty. It's the same stuff. It's just not with a highly upgrade tax. All right, where's 56 at? Right, 55. You kidding me? Is 56 on the other sprue? It is. That's ridiculous. To build this one guy, these parts are on all three different sprues, and the little hip plates are on two separate sprues entirely. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. Yeah, and the reason I use the washers, I mentioned in a past stream, but still a helpful tip. They're pretty big, so they add a little weight to the model, which is nice. It feels better in the hand when you're moving it. It actually feels like a thing. And since the metal in the washer is so much heavier than like all the plastic, it lowers the center of gravity of the model, so it's harder to tip them over. They're cheaper than magnets. I put magnet sheets in my carry cases. I don't have to worry about polarization because that can be a pain. And at the same time, you could use like a metal sheet in your carry cases, but metal sheets get real heavy. I don't know how they're gonna miss all that, because you put a 2,000 point army in a box, in general, they get pretty heavy. Alright. See, that pose makes him look like he's really walking forward, but I don't really have that. That's what? Did I mess it up? I did mess it up. I'm over here. I'm sure it's fine. it looks right. Hey man, anything. I've been at this for a long, long time. And when I first got into it, there wasn't a whole lot of like internet to get tips from. So you just kind of figured things out after a while talking to people. But with the internet now, you can learn from people so much quicker. And like another thing too, a friend of mine, he had the magnets in the bottom of his bases, which was great. You know, he had the magnet sheets and just snapped on. But like those neodymium magnets were so strong that he would have issues trying to get them off the magnet, and they would actually he broke off some of his models trying to do that. Where's 41? That's that one. 43. Yeah, the surface area helps too. Now, I did a little video in my last stream about how I do the magnets with the washers if you're going to do it. The trick is you got to make sure it's like flush. The base, that kind of makes sense there. Because if you don't, that washer gets pushed up into it and then it doesn't have that good of a connection. So what I do is I have my magnet sheets down. I put like a non-stick thing between them. Put my magnets, or so my washers onto the magnet sheet that holds it down. Put the hot glue in, press it down. Don't press hard, and do it slowly, because if you press too hard, it'll like bend it, and it'll pull the washer up that way. Hey, ride the hype train, man. The hype train's good. There's a reason they make so much money. There's a reason so many people are in it. There's a reason why people defend this hobby. It's a good hobby. The downside is it's an expensive hobby. So keep that in mind. I almost never buy anything new anymore or straight from Games Workshop. It's just too expensive. So I picked these up from a hobby store in Pensacola. I don't live in Florida, but the people out there are phenomenal. They're good people, and they get my business, and they offer discounts and that kind of stuff. And they run a great shop. But a lot of my stuff I get used, secondhand, and whatnot, and just kind of, do the work. Because, I enjoy every side of the hobby. So saving somebody's old models makes me happy too. For 45, 46, 45, 46. There's a eBay Miniature Rescues, a YouTube channel, and they're pretty awesome with that. Yeah. Also, don't underestimate Amazon. If you got an Amazon account, you can get some stuff there. Facebook pages. There's a bunch of Facebook pages for buying, selling, swapping, that kind of stuff. Which is really good. See, this one doesn't say what head to use. It just says to use the robed head. Let me start knifing these guys a little bit. Yeah, he's good, Sky. He's good. But you know, the more you do, the more you kind of play around with stuff, you learn. Like stripping models is a pain. He uses like LA's Totally Awesome, which is great. I like that stuff. Fun fact: don't use LA's Totally Awesome to clean tempered glass. It breaks the glass like immediately. Learned that the hard way. A friend was cleaning his fridge, and I was over helping him, and he's a hobby guy too. And he's like, "Well, I'll just use it to clean my fridge." We just heard "fucka," and all the glass in the fridge exploded. So don't do that. But I like to use isopropyl alcohol when I strip models. Oh yeah, well, so I don't live in Florida. I actually live in Louisiana. So I go out that way maybe twice a year to pick up stuff. But they're cool. Like I'll call them, they'll ship and do that kind of stuff for me too. Yeah, New York. I can only imagine like the amount of people you got. There's always with more people, you know, more opportunity for things. Down here, we had a few shops. They closed down. They did the U.S. Open. Well, you can assume Florida because I mentioned Pensacola, where that shop's at. But yeah, so we got a few shops, but they kind of closed down. It's not super competitive. Games Workshop did do the U.S. Open tour through New Orleans, and myself and a bunch of buddies went to that. I didn't compete in New Orleans, but I went and competed in Austin, and Austin was pretty good. I did all right, you know, casual. Met some awesome people. I didn't go to it with the intent to be awesome. I just wanted to have a good time. Any new release for hobbies is so hard to fight for, like Pokemon, Warhammer, etc. Yeah, well, you know, Games Workshop has done a really good job with like the FOMO marketing, and it's working for them. So like, they're not going to stop. Like they got me with this box. This box set is phenomenal. It's a super great price. You pretty much got, you know, 1,070 points worth of models for, you know, $216 with a discount. Came with a Primark. I had none of them. Like, all right, you got me. Don't want to miss this one out. And it sold out insanely quick. The whole world was running for it, you know. So they're making their money. They're not worried about it. And you know, I've talked to some of the people who work for the company. The boxes and the shipping cost more than the actual plastic miniatures themselves. Like, you know, this is some of the cheapest material in the universe. So their cost sink is in, you know, the distribution and packing. But they sell it for a premium, and we do it. I told myself I'd only ever stick with Black Templar and Custodes. Beginner Trap, I know, but the Dark Angel box was too good. Oh, did you pick up the Dark Angel box too? Yeah, I'm betting you did. All right, let's see. Yes, sir, full price. Ooh. Well, so as far as exporting goes, they actually have a spot in Memphis where they make a lot of this stuff, so they don't even have to ship across the pond. Now it's a smaller capacity than their Nottingham plant, but you know, they're not exactly shipping across the world when it comes to over here. Let's see. You haven't started yet? You know, I feel that, man. Um, a lot of times I have a hard time starting. I was just fortunate enough to have snow weather. Also, I think my stream may have frozen because I'm watching on my end and it looks like it's stuck. If it's not stuck for y'all, I'm not gonna worry about it, but it's kind of frustrating on my end. You won your first game today? That is phenomenal, man. What army you playing? Not frozen for you? Awesome. 9-hour game? Yeah, sounds about right. Those first games can take a bit. I want to hear more about this game. So, first game with your army. What army did you pick up? How was the game? Necron army with the Silent King. Ooh, Necrons are so good. If you ever get really bored, 1,500 points, calculate all the reanimations, just like a tally mark. And then when you get home after the game, add up how many points that you got extra. You probably had an extra 200 points versus the other guy, which is just feels good. And also, when I first started, no kidding, no lie, no exaggeration, I lost my first 28 games. Lost my first 28 games. But I have reasons for that. Yeah, Necrons versus Tyranids. Ooh, Tyranids are good too. But I lost my first 28 games because it's kind of a trap. So, how I got into the hobby, I was in this comic shop with a buddy. He was trying to get me into playing like Yu-Gi-Oh with him, and I got into it a little bit. I never really got much into it. And they had a slow growth league in the background, and it was just starting with Assault on Blackreach box. So I picked up that, and then I just picked up whatever scraps of Marines I could get, and went on a losing streak. If it were another army, it would be faster. Well, so that's the thing. If you're gonna play Necrons and you like Necrons, most of your games are gonna be longer and slower because of that reanimation protocol stuff. Don't worry about it. Play your game. Let the game be. Take advantage of it because you know that's how your game's going to go. That's the cadence of your game. Also, it's your first game. It's going to be slow. Especially if you're having a good time. You're chilling and talking with your buddies and you're not trying to rush through it. Like when I was doing the U.S. Open, I think it was like 2.5-hour rounds. Yeah. And that was kind of stressful because you got to get through those rounds. There was one guy I played against. Came home with pain in my legs. Oh yeah, you will. If you ever do like a big tournament, which you kind of did in one game, 9-hour day in one game. Comfortable shoes is super important. Leaning on things is important. Get that weight off your legs. Heck, a lot of times events will have chairs at the tables because they know. But yeah, those events can be a slog. But it's fun. There's this guy, he had a Tyranid army. He was a cool dude, but his Tyranid army was absolutely gorgeous. He did like this, like spotted, speckled, like a reptile kind of look on all of them. He had like little dots when he painted. Insanely cool. Alright. Tilt plate 47. Let's see. Where are you? Not here. Not here. Oh, dry brushing is insanely good, man. Dry brushing is really, really good. So my my typical painting is I'll do a spray prime of the color that I want. I'll do an all over wash to create the shadows, and then I'll dry brush up 2 layers for like highlights, and then I'll do like all the little detail work. Recently, when I started doing my Imperial Fists, like this kind of deal here, this is a color prime, a contrast all over, kind of like the wash. And then I started doing a stipple instead of a dry brush. I kind of like that because I can control it a little better of where I get the highlights and lowlights and whatnot. But for like Necrons, dry brushing is heaven. And dry brushing and that Tesseract Glow technical paint. You get some really cool results. And there's tilt plates going on this side. Okay. Let's see. So right now I'm working on the Dark Angel stuff, but I've got some Necrons too. This looks a little weird, but we'll go with it. Alright, so again, it's not telling me what helmet to use really, because it's only showing the cloaked helmet here, which I don't want to use a cloaked helmet. I'm going to use this guy here. Just kind of going with it. Can I send a light shot link? I'm not even sure what a light shot is. What is that? To print? Yeah, man, go for it. Just put it in the chat. I'm not streaming on a computer, so I don't know if I'll be able to stop and like see it, but afterwards I'll go check it out, and anybody who's in the chat wants to take a look at it can go for it. Yeah, stream off my phone like a professional, quote unquote. No, I'm kidding. I'm definitely by no means a professional at this. Okay. Call that guy done. But no, I appreciate all you guys showing up. Helps out a lot. For me, it's working. I think that's what matters. Absolutely. Yeah, appreciate all the likes. You guys are awesome. If you're liking what you're seeing, you know, like, subscribe, that kind of stuff really means a lot. It kind of helps me with my goals too. Yeah, look, so one of the things too, let me see if I can grab them. Let me grab this real quick. So I got some Necrons that I'm working on off to the side, and this is pretty much a lead belcher prime. You can wash, get your shadows and whatnot, get yourself a dry brush, get in there, dry brush. And then here's the thing too, like different sizes of dry brushes help out a lot. Get yourself some big ones so you can kind of get everything. Get yourself some medium ones, some small ones. You can get in there and work all these different angles. And, you know, you can get in there. When I do mine, like inside their rib cages and whatnot, I'll use white ink, dip it in there, kind of lean on the side like this, let it dry, and then hit it with that Tesseract glow, and it just pops. But yeah, dry brushing is phenomenal, especially with Necrons. Like, there's a reason that they made Necron Compound, because they just love a good dry brush. Yeah, no worries, man. All right, let's see. 48. These sprues are all over the place. And the reason I do the white ink is it's super bright, right? And that super bright helps that Tesseract glow pop even more. All right. 48. There we go. But yeah, one of the things is like I'm trying really hard right now this year to grow the channel, get 1,000 subscribers, get my watch time, and hopefully maybe try to get monetized. And I'm not trying to like retire on all this. It would just be nice to have the hobby kind of help pay for itself. But I find it difficult because, you know, I can pretty much in a live stream tell you guys everything I know in about an hour and a half, and it'll, you know, you'll pick up all those old tips and tricks and you just gotta practice it. So, and maybe it's a me thing, but I don't really know how to turn that into 10-15 minute videos. Like, I watch the videos, I see what people do out there, and they do phenomenal stuff. I just can't figure out how to do it like that. You know, 10-minute video on how to dry brush. It's just not something I could try to do. And that might be a weakness for me. There we go. 53, 54, 51, 52, 53, 54. So I don't know how crazy successful I can be at any of this kind of stuff. All right, 53, 54. But like another really good YouTube channel, like I was mentioning eBay Miniature Rescues earlier, Ninjon, he does really good stuff. Great work. 51, 52. Like that man, he's an artist when it comes to stuff. 51. 52. Looks like it's frozen on my end again. Notice that airbrush gives a huge plus plus plus. You know, airbrushing is something that will definitely increase your hobby skills very quickly. It helps you master lighting very quick. It helps you pound through base coats Um, I'm gonna be honest. I've got an airbrush, and I've tried using it, and I'm not good with it at all. You know, some things you need, yeah. And with that in mind, I just need to practice more. You know, um, but airbrushing definitely levels up the game. Another thing that levels up the game quick is like a wet palette. Um, that's a huge game changer too. Um, I really need to practice more with the airbrush, especially when it gets to like vehicles. Vehicles love airbrushing and contrast paints. Um, Maybe not for a vehicle, but contrast through an airbrush on infantry, really nice too. It doesn't do the same kind of thing. Uh, oh, you have an airbrush? That's good. Um, Heck, airbrush. You can spray that white ink through the airbrush, and you'll get like that extra flow around it and like really glow. Oh, the wet palette. Gotcha. Oh, I think it's great to do the live stream. You're able to do the hobby and are dedicated in your time and doing what you love, but still live. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I agree. Galaxy S. Yeah, the wet palette is it's great. That'll up your game real quick too. But yeah, no, the live stream really does help. I don't have to put time into like sitting down, editing, and trying to do all that stuff. I can sneak, get my work done, um, do some hobby time, and still try to connect with people. And again, it's like the connections, like talking with people really helps out. Um, at least, for that Zen part of it. Um, just important. Galaxy X. Yeah, I haven't used one of those. I used a wet palette I got from like Hobby Lobby, and it works really well. I need to use it more often, um, but a lot of times I find myself, just stealing time to work, um, and I don't want to take that time always to like set up a wet palette. But if I get more regular with this kind of stuff, that would be the way to do it. But yeah, like I said, this year really pushing the goal, hit those subscriber goals, hit those hours watched goals, and see what happens. It'd be nice. I found it more enjoyable to assemble and paint when I was with friends. Absolutely, man. And that's kind of what live streaming does for me. Like, I get to talk. It's like, we don't know each other, right? But we have a common interest in the hobby. We can talk about the hobby, and there's not this sense of being alone with it. Like before COVID, I would do like buddy builds, and they'd work on stuff, and I'd work on stuff, and we just talk and hang and work, and it was nice, refreshing, and it kind of helped us keep honest with our hobby because we all try to do this. But if you're like, hey, I said to my friend, I'm going to work on this with him on Saturday. You kind of have that accountability partner there, and you can go and work together. And same thing for him. It's like when you go to the gym, right? You get your buddy, and you keep each other on target. But it's like a hobby kind of deal. Sometimes it's gonna sound kind of pathetic, but I'll hop on a live stream to do some work, and for whatever reason, nobody hops on, and you just kind of sitting there by yourself. That kind of sucks, but it's all good. Because the way I have it set up is I got this arch, my phone, and it's filming, and then I got a TV out in front of me, and I'm kind of watching myself in chat on that. So, you know, kind of looking up every now and then to see if people are talking. But when you know it's there, you're kind of looking up and backing up and back for no reason. But yeah. Alright, those are all cleaned up. Time to assemble. I've been finding it easier to do the front part. There we go. So hopefully you're working on some stuff right now too, and not just hanging out and chilling. And I'm going to keep saying that. Keep you guys honest and motivated too. Yeah, man. Go paint. Put the stream on, go paint. And that's the thing, like the way you said that, you're itching. At a certain point, it does become an addiction. You know? You start to, like, oh, I haven't done anything for a bit. I need to go do something. And that's like the best parts, you know? I mentioned before, the other day I woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah? To go paint. Oh, yeah. Man, oh, God, that reminds me. I had a dream years and years and years ago when I first got into the hobby. It's going to sound so crazy. I did a lot of construction and, like, remodels and whatnot. And this dream, I went to this house to, like, remodel it and opened it. And it was just, like, boxes and boxes and boxes of Warhammer stuff. And it was like, jackpot. First time in the hobby, by the way. Hey, man, welcome to the hobby. I've been at it for years, so I'm excited to see you in. You know, it's a great thing. It's a good hobby, good people. It's been around a long time. You know, people can be hyper defensive of it, which is fine, you know. People care about their stuff. But I'll tell you, everywhere I've ever gone, people are super excited to talk to new people, you know, share what they know, help them out. Because without people, you know, hobbies, you know, kind of like one-sided, right? You know, we could just as easily, you know, buy and build Legos. But you don't really need a community to build Legos. You know, with this, you need a community because the different painting techniques, the different tools, the different paints, the different you know, rule sets, you know, getting together and putting together terrain and playing the game. Like, you don't get that with Lego. So, like I said, most everybody I've ever met in this hobby is excited when somebody new shows up. So, welcome to the hobby. You're doing better than I am already, man. You won a first game way before 28. Well, 28 losses. Yeah, stream looks like it's having issues again. You guys still there? Ludwig's done. Let's see real quick. Big fan of the lore. I've been reading 40K for about 3 years now. It's awesome. At some point, it started to influence my circle of friends. Hey, that's good. Let me tell you, it took me a long time to figure this out in life, but life is about finding something to do and people to do things with. You know, as long as no one's getting hurt, right? It's a good time. And if this is what you enjoy and you're around people that enjoy it too, you're winning at life, man. Winning at life. All right, 57 and 58. One day my friend bought a Tyranid army out of nowhere. And then you had to buy yours? Absolutely, man. Tyranids are cool. I like Tyranids. Today we are 4 people in the group. Nice. That's a good little healthy group, man. That's 58. 57. Tyranids, Necrons, Ultramarines, and Dark Angels. It's a good little spread. Ultramarines, Dark Angels, got 2 Marine players. Necrons, Tyranids, it's good stuff. You know, one of the things that I mentioned when I first got in was a slow growth league. And we started with like 500 points. Pretty cool how it's going. That's awesome. Yeah, we started with 500 points and you had like 3 weeks to build and paint. And then we went up to 1,000. You had another 3 weeks. 1,500, 3 weeks. And just kept growing it that way. And then we all had a full done painted army. It only took like 15 weeks to do it. And like none of them were like the best painted stuff, you know, but it all worked out. Then like a year or 2 later, we did it again. That's kind of how I got my demon army, because they did 40K first as a group, and then they wanted to do like Age of Sigmar. I wasn't super into the Age of Sigmar stuff, but they have demons in there, and demons go for both, so I was like, well, that's what I'll do. I think I like 40K better, though, than AOS. But that's just me. But we used to have a shop around, but it shut down recently. So our little group hasn't gotten together in a while. We're all hopeful that a new one will open up soon. Did you go and get your paints yet? I said, did you go and get your paints yet? You said you're itching to paint. Oh, good. See, now I'm not working alone. Now we're working together. Setting the table. Setting the scene for preparation for battles unknown. Okay. There it is. Necrons, Tyranids, Ultramarines, Dark Angels. Good stuff, man. It's a good little variety. Triarch Stalker, yeah. Heavy support. I hear it's really good. This guy. 63 and 62. Three, 62. I'm not sure if I should buy death marks. I don't really know enough right now about Necron meta to tell you. But, you know, if you're just playing with your group of guys and whatnot, if you're having issues with characters or like deep strike countering, death marks could be cool because you can snipe out those characters. You can counter deep strike, and that can kind of wreck their day. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like the Christmas box for Necrons came with some death marks. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, we play for fun at the moment. Yeah, absolutely, man. Don't get yourself caught in the trap of playing hyper competitive, especially with like friends on like the given day. Now, if you guys all want to get together and like do a trip together to go, you know, like an LVO kind of thing, like a group goal, you might want to get some competitive reps in. But you know, you don't want to be that guy in the group, right? But I think that box may have them, and it wasn't a hyper like crazy well received box. You know, a lot of people already had like the Void Dragon and whatnot, so for most people it didn't make sense to get a second one. But if you're just getting into it, that could be a really awesome box for you. Having the Void Dragon and those things, and a lot of like friendly local game shops will still have that one kicking around. Maybe you can get it for a little bit of a discount too. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure if it has death marks in it. And this might be bad advice, speaking from my particular perspective of kind of a plastic crack addict. There's never a bad time to buy a model. There's definitely bad times to sell models, but the way the rules change and the way the editions keep coming and going, what's good today might be bad next month, and what's bad today might be meta next month. So, think about what you like, what you need, and then over time, you'll build a collection of stuff which will let you bounce between, what Games Workshop does. It's labeled head 1, but I don't see 1 in the head list. Go 100. Now when I say there's bad times to sell models, I've only ever sold models like twice, and both times I ended up regretting it. These models only get more expensive over time, so unless you absolutely need to, I recommend holding on to your stuff. It's hard to play against nids. They charge a lot, so I need more melee units. The Destroyer Cult, those are really, really good. Flayed ones are cool. They're just really expensive for what you get. If you're getting charged a lot, what you need to start doing is, okay, bear with me here. Maybe have like some warriors here, and then behind them have your Lich Guard or Wraith Guard. And when the nids charge your warriors, you can now either fall them back and then counter charge with your heavy hitters and let them melt, but they didn't take that initial damage. Lich Guard are awesome. Or, you want like a screening unit. You see what I'm saying? So you send your warriors up, they kind of hold the objectives, right? And then they get pounced on. But then you have that second wave, and they wipe everything out, let your Necrons reanimate. But that's all part of the game, you got 5 turns, so you got to think about those 5 turns and how they're going to play out. You want to get into the battles that you want to get into with the units that you want in those places. 64. It just takes time. Rippers are really cool for sitting on objectives, getting in the way of things, blocking down deep strikes. Countercharging is super helpful. And it's okay to trade stuff. I won yesterday because the Silent King controlled the objective until the end. Oh yeah, Silent King is a menace. That guy is nuts. He puts work in. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a little buff recently. So, enjoy him. Let's see, this goes left shoulder pad. The keyword, I think. Not sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, he did win the war in heaven, so you got to give the man credit. Well, necro? I don't know. All right, 2 done. Here, hold up a second. Let me show you something. Whoop. Bam. Kind of big to fit under here. You played a test game with them, just learned the basics. Oh yeah. I mean, starting out as a new player with a Necron, and having Silent King, you dove in big. All right, 2 done. Ooh, about an hour and a half. Here's too much. What I was saying, a loss. Because of the cape? I played without the cape. Yeah, you gotta get the cape on, you know? The cape's the power. Absolutely. It's got that razzle dazzle. Alright. That's 3 down. Ooh, I'm feeling accomplished. Well, I mean, I don't know what the lore is, but isn't like the cape imbued with the power of the cosmos, and like not Necron, the Satan shards are like trapped in its cape and stuff? Like, isn't it like it's more than just a cape? I mean, I could be making all that up. I have no idea. Never heard of that. Well, like I said, could be making it all up. With the way they design these Terminators with their own personal little butts, these butts might be made out of the power of the cosmos too. Now, for some reason, I definitely feel like his cape was made out of the skin of a Satan. All right, 68, 69, 70, 71. Thought Space Marines were push fit. Some, yes. And the new like starter boxes, they've been push fit. And their push fit is meh. It's all right. So like, let me see. This guy here, he was push fit. But these guys aren't. These are multi-parts. Now, even these multi-parts, though, are kind of monopose. So it's kind of like a in-between. Back in my day, when I first got started, it wasn't like that. You can kind of move them all over the place. But, you know, all the new starter kits are push fit. A lot of the Tyranids from the Leviathan, the whole Leviathan box, that's a push fit box. I still recommend gluing them though. 72. There's nothing wrong with push fit. When they first came out with the push fits, like a long time ago, uh, the push was too tight, and you'd like break plastic, or it wouldn't seam all the way, so you'd have to like trim it down so it fit a little better, or then it'd be too loose, so you end up having to glue them anyway. But it's kind of like their marketing deal, so they can market to new players who don't, have the access to super glue, or it's a chemical in a lot of countries. So like Gunpla, they make some of the greatest models ever, and they're all push fit. But over in Japan, like super glue it's toxic, it's dangerous, all that kind of stuff. So it's more regulated. But they are like the masters of push fit models, as the Gunpla kits. You had a heavy destroyer that broke his support. So small and fragile. Yeah, you talking about like the clear stands? One of the things that, so like on my Necron's, the Silent King, right? So, let me get out of the sprue. Like that lightning down there, that stuff breaks a lot. What I did was I got some copper wire, like 12 gauge copper wire, and I bent that, primed that, drilled and glued that. That copper wire is not going to break. So if you're having issues with it and you like that lighting effect, copper wire is good. Carving sprue, that works good too. You just gotta do that extra work with carving and whatnot. That's arm 75. Flying stands are rough in general. They tend to be fragile. But they look cool. The weakest part, yeah. His ladder. Oh, yeah, on the Silent King. Yeah, I don't know. Everything about him is terrifying. As far as like trying to transport, definitely magnet case to transport him. I don't think I would trust any other type of like transport. I'm gonna pause on cutting out. Need to catch up. Like another thing with me is I'll go through like mental phases. Like right now, I'm kind of in like a mental build phase, like on a build, right? And then I'll go through waves of like I need to paint. But in this hobby, anytime you're feeling that motivation, put that work in, make it happen. So a lot of times, if you just do a little bit, that motivation will like snowball and it'll keep you going. How's your Triarch coming? I guess how's your chores coming too, buddy? The other guys still around doing chores? I'm not really sure about the Triarch Stalker with the weapon. Do you have the stat profile in front of you? And then, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but if you have the ability to use magnets right now, it's probably the way to go. You know, and Games Workshop's actually done a meh job recently as far as like balancing stuff. So a lot of times, the question really is like, what do you find yourself needing in an army? Do you need anti-horde? Do you need anti-armor? Do you need anti-infantry? Look at your whole list and see what you're needing. Sometimes I didn't see the need to glue the gun to the unit. Yeah, don't. If you don't have to glue it, don't. I think that one kind of like friction fits a little bit too. But basically, you look at what your army is missing, lacking, needing, and you pull the trigger on that.
Are you done?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
It's all right. How's things going? But that's what I would say for that. I think once I get this guy put together, I'm gonna pause for the night and get some rest. But still got a little ways to go. Let's see. Now in some units there's like a standout better weapon. And in that case, do that. Right now I don't have a Tesseract Glow, but I have Moot Green, Warp So Glow, and Warp Lightning. Should I wait for the paint to arrive? I don't know. If you like how your stuff's coming out with what you got, keep it consistent. And you can always touch up and change your paint as you go, right? So I would say you're in the vibe, you're in the mood, start painting it. Make it happen. And those can be awesome like base layers. And then when you get your Tesseract Glow in, you go back in, highlight some white spots, and then hit it with a Tesseract Glow. And then it'll pop, right? 30 Necron Warriors, make it happen. Silver Tide, baby. Silver Tide. I personally think Silver Tide's the most fun and best way to play Necrons. overdid the dry brush. I wouldn't worry about it so much, especially if you like it. You know, that's all that matters. Like, you're the one that has to stare at it. You're the one that has to paint it and look at it and move it. So if you're liking it, that's all that matters. Now, if down the road, if it bugs you, you know, to dull it down, you could always put a wash on it. You could always go back and reestablish like some bases, like some base coats. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. You know, painting, this is a fluid thing. You know, add layers, take away layers. None of it's really permanent. You know, now if you dip your whole model in like nail polish or like that kind of stuff, you might have some problems there. But I remember when I first got into it, two things worried me all the time. Was it going to build it wrong with the wrong stuff, or was it going to mess it up by painting it? And that fear would cause like paralysis of progress, and I wouldn't be progressing in my hobby. So, you know, get over that quick. Try to get over that, you know. Make the choices, execute, let it happen. And more often than not, you'll like what you got. And you get repetition in and get better. So I'm doing the Deathwing Nights because that's what came in the Christmas box, the Inner Circle Task Force box. But I'm probably going to lean that way just because I'll have the models at that point for it. And I don't want to invest a whole lot into this army yet. But what I've got so far is the Inner Circle Task Force box. I did a lieutenant for him, did some Hellblasters for him. In that box came the Lion. That's about it. I think it's close to 1,500 points. But I haven't really sat down and added all that up yet. I know like the Christmas box itself was like 1,070, which was pretty cool. And I mean, like, Terminators are pretty cool. You know, big old chunky boys. What's your buddy running? Is he doing like Deathwing? Is he doing the Green Wing? What's he got? You know, play with the Nids. Yeah, so with Dark Angels, in their lore, they have different names. So there's like the Deathwing, which is Terminators, that kind of stuff. There's the Raven Wing, which is like fast attack, bikes, speeders, that kind of stuff. And then there's the Green Wing, which is kind of like your standard Marines. And I'm just learning all this stuff too. I think there's like another wing, but it's like the Destroyer Wing or something like that. But I don't think it's really represented with rules or anything like that. I know he has some Dreadnoughts and Terminators. Yeah, so he's probably going Deathwing then. And Dreadnoughts are cool. Like, Dreadnoughts are probably some of the most 40k things out there. I find it hard to, like, look at a Dreadnought and not be happy. Alright, where is his shoulders and tilt? His tilt is 81. How's it going, buddy? Breadnought. Oh, look at you. So you know all about Dreadnoughts, right? The Tyranid guy has almost everything. That's impressive, because there's a lot of models for Tyranids. But see, like I was saying earlier, like once you have your collection, you can flex in and out of stuff and just have a good time with it. You know. All right, so Dreadnought. What would your favorite Dreadnought be? Let's see. It's trying to keep checking the stats. Yeah. So one of the things I have, they don't have it anymore, is called Battle Scribe. And Battle Scribe was great. It was like all the rules for free and whatnot. There was some drama with it. The people who were supporting it and making all the updates kind of quit. But there's a new one that's very similar on the App Store called War Organ. I love it. It's great. It's a small app. Doesn't have a whole lot of love on it yet. But it's got everything you need. So if you're trying to get rules and try to learn stuff, download War Organ. Not sponsored, not anything like that, but like that's my go-to right now for rules. Amazon lost your codex. Call them, tell them. They'll fix it. And then give you a refund. Like, Amazon doesn't really care about that kind of stuff too much. No, definitely, man. Call them. Amazon support, be like, hey, you lost my stuff. And they'll make it right. First codex made a trip to Egypt, and the other one has not been delivered yet. Waiting until day 25. Why'd it go to Egypt? Wait. Where you live? I don't want to assume anything. Do you live out that way? Because if you're not even on the same continent, that's a problem. Okay. Well, yeah. If you don't live that way and they're delivering your stuff to Egypt, they messed up. But yeah, no. If you don't have a codex, definitely check out War Oregon. That's kind of how I do everything right now. They got the bag wrong. It was the store's excuse. Who does something? I don't know, man. I don't know. You're trying to send something to Chicago, and then it ends up in Egypt. Somebody somewhere. All right. Didn't quite get through the whole thing, but I need to go ahead and give it a stop at this point. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. It really helps get stuff done. You guys are amazing. And keep at it. Keep working. Keep making things happen. I'll be back on soon, probably sometime tomorrow. If you had a good time, you found something useful, or just had a good time and want to hang out again, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I come on live. And I appreciate y'all. Good night.